Let's see if gives it to me. He said he's gonna give it to me. Like he was looking the ring, and I said I need the ring. He says I've got the extra necklace out there, and then I'll give it to you if you want it. I was like, yeah, definitely.
That's a big necklace
Let's
for a ring.
see. Master. Oh, the Master's lightning staff. GG.
Did he give you?
No, no, that's what I got. I got a Master's lightning
Oh,
staff.
you forgot about that.
Tôi nghĩ mình bị ốm đấy.
Reduces the cost of your destructive touch by 10% and increases your spell damage by after activating it. So here. Let's see where he is. Necklace.
Chưa từng sống trong thế giới, tôi muốn sống. Ai đó làm ơn, hãy giúp tôi. Tôi vẫn chỉ là một cậu bé thôi mà. Một chút nhiều hơn. Đã phát hiện một đất.
Oh, I got the Master's lightning staff out of the Dragonstone Arena, which is handy. Okay. See your destructive touch. After you use the destructive touch, you get 500 spell damage for 10 seconds. So I've got the necklace, got the ring, I got a few pieces of the armor, and need a few more pieces in the weapons. I can healing staff and ice or lightning staff with the healing thing. And boom. Footman, right healer, and a lich.
Anti-air defenses are active.
Trời nóng thật.
Still be on the helicopter. Crash on. Nothing to do.
Are you talking to some player?
I don't know. Didn't play territory war. I think I got a sniper class. Guys are trying to land on the They're trying to land on the I got shot on the side, so the guy is on the ground right now. So I need to watch out. Shot on the side.
That other game's not
Found him.
free.
Oh,
You
fuck's sake.
have to buy it.
Hmm?
That sword one, you know, you have to buy it.
Yeah, you have to buy it. That's right, I was myself.
I don't like that. I would have liked to play the beta first to see what it's like.
Yeah. But rubbish, you have to pay, you're forced to buy it.
Yeah. And then because it's not going to be released for age and you pay the beta, they refuse to give you the refund.
Enemy is running out of time.
Dude, I almost just dropped my corn chip into like the salsa bowl, and it's like almost empty. So that would have been scary. I had to like dig in there with my hands and grab it.
Defenses are active.
All around boat now.
Scout reported.
Get in there, gamers. Don't let them do it to us. Don't let them do the funny.
Alpha is being attacked.
Come on, pig. Around the corner.
Cẩn thận, cúi đầu xuống.
They're having trouble, they're having a hard time getting us.
Tôi sẽ cho bạn nghĩ thấy chúng ta đang đối mặt với ai.
They killed the teammate. Everyone's down on the beach.
Everyone? Was that not the one that was like bunkers around the beach and you could sit,
Yeah.
get in the bunkers and shoot it? I used to do that one, fucking kill loads of them trying to get over.
These guys are struggling to get over here. It's funny the way they crash their helicopters. They go so fast, they slam.
Those helicopters are annoying to drive in there. They're hard.
They literally just slam right into the ground.
Yeah, because you gotta balance the shit.
Yeah, on the dive.
I don't know. fucking a minute.
Oh, oh. I would so love just to kill one of the guys and when they get there on the helicopter and the helicopter just fall down. I'm gonna lose the pilot.
There was one game, what was it? There's
Oh,
Battlegrounds, like,
Battlefield, I did that there loads of times.
Battlefield.
Woo,
I
party
was
on the
sitting with a
beach,
sniper on like a hill. And there was a guy in a copter and he was just coming flying across the edges of that.
Defenses
Boom!
are
Oh, he hit the
These
and
Hueys,
it
dude,
wasn't
they
you like crash.
just run it on.
You get thing goes out, your expensive goes out, but when you stand in his body and you fail, it falls out to the hey, Ollie got it was funny.
Moving slowly, he got juju eyeball, he won holy roller, he got hair down to his knees. Got to be a joker, he just do what he please.
I couldn't get on the beach.
swapping side.
Oh, we're swapping sides now. No! Someone took the marksman! Oh shit. Change row. Don't want to be him.
We are cleared to engage. Get ready.
Yeah, I mean, jeez, the
Get to an all-time high.
the plan is so funny.
Chasing out the fucking idiots. It's already getting fucked.
Cancel fire mission! We're under attack! I just know that Charles is out there, bastards.
Of buying a house and flipping it in the year, but huge risk are mounting up, and you must watch this video to the end to be aware of those risks so you can make a better educated decision. Okay, let's get into it.
You know, Chris, has ever looked at 1929 in the U.S. or 2000 in the tech bubble last in the U.S. and around the world, that at the top of a boom, things look good. And when you have a pandemic and governments like the U.S. print trillions of dollars to just get the economy back to not even, and it's not back
Oh, I got sniped.
at all this. It's like, oh, everything's great, and the markets are higher highs and everything.
Recon is in the air.
It's the most overvalued in all of history. At the end of
Fuck me, I got spawned on and killed.
Just a brainwashing mechanism the Fed's trying to get investors into on this transitory stuff. So I'll get worried if the inflation remains elevated through the summer, and I think the bond yields would start to test the Fed's resolve. They say there's no limit to their quantitative easing, stuff like this. We'll see, because if the rates go up, the few buyers that there are for treasuries, the foreigners have been selling for years, domestics have been gently declining in their ownership, all you got's the Fed. And so with all of the debt that we have, which is, it's really, the deficit's really, the true deficit's about 20% of GDP. Absorbing those bonds, if inflation stays high, is going to be a really big problem. And if you can't absorb those bonds and the yields are allowed to rise, well, that's going to be really problematic for the valuation of the stock market.
Charlie down, 2-6. I have a target. Fast movers, grid ref 8453-2974. Carter, William,
is actually over 35% of our economy right now. So we have something of a collectivized economy and it's gaining further momentum. And as you pointed out, we're talking about doing more spending on so-called infrastructure, although I think it's only about 10% infrastructure if you talk about bridges and roads and airports and things like that. So infrastructure has become a buzzword for social programs, which is really just continued money printing. Now, one thing that surprises me is that people were ever that surprised at money giveaways when Ben Bernanke brought it up, because we started giving money to people in Great Society programs over 50 years ago. It was a limited amount of money, it was to a limited group of people. But these ideas, once they get going, they go much further than is initially contemplated. So that's where we are. Now, you say there's no inflation, but today the PPI came out, the Producer Price Index. It's the highest reading in 10 years, year over year. It came out, there's different ways of slicing it, but it came out over 5% in one of the important categories, year over year inflation. So it's already starting to come. You mentioned gasoline prices, which are up by $1 a gallon here in California. That's by about 35% last year. Lumber prices are through the roof. Real estate prices in many places are absolutely booming. So one thing that people have to understand is when you go into money giveaways and inflationary programs, it is not even across the economic spectrum. There are some categories that get really high inflation and some categories that don't get very much. The ones that get a lot of inflation when you start the money printing, unfortunately, contrary to the intentions of these programs, end up harming the lower classes of society. Food prices are going up tremendously. Gasoline prices, as I said, are going up tremendously. I saw an article on the Bloomberg Newswire today that they're now calling it the K-shaped inflation situation, just like we called it the K-shaped economic recovery out of the pandemic, where rich people have actually gotten a lot richer and employment is actually up in the higher wage categories while it remains very depressed in the lower categories. There are many instances of money printing through human history, and there are quite a few of them in the 20th century alone. And I can't find a single one that just doesn't end with the economic inequality getting much worse and leading to societal stresses that must be addressed. So we go back to the French Revolution, if you will, in the days leading up to the French Revolution, they went off the gold standard because they had a big debt problem. In fact, the magnitude of the debt problem was kind of, at the beginning of this process, is kind of where ours is today in the United States. And so what ends up happening is the people that were kind of middle class become very poor, and the people that were poor start to starve. That's the real insidious aspect of this money printing, and leads to very significant problems with food prices and food shortages typically. And so what ends up happening is the people that are in control of the monetary printing and money giveaway levers actually find a way to get rich. And that hasn't exactly happened yet, according to sort of the French Revolution template, but it is certainly happening. There's a great awareness that thanks to the tremendous fortunes that have been built through the technology platforms and through the stock market boom that has been aided and abetted by this money printing, that we have had much greater wealth inequality. And we have a very big divot in unemployment still. The government likes to report these statistics as if we've largely recovered from the pandemic effects, but we haven't even come close. What they're doing, I think, is dividing the economic assistance into new categories, like pandemic unemployment benefits and the like, so that the traditional measures of economic growth, inflation, and employment don't really map over to what we're doing today because we've got new categories. In actuality, there are over 18 million Americans that are employable, that should be in the labor pool, but they're on some form of government assistance. Tony, that's more than 10% of the labor force, quite a bit more than 10% of the labor force. And they're being disincentivized with these programs of endless checks being written, being incentivized to arrange their lives essentially around not working. Many people are making more from their checks from the government than they were getting from their jobs if they were at the low end of the economic spectrum. Also, what doesn't get nearly enough attention is there are people that are well above the average income level. The median household income in the United States is around $65,000. And these government programs are giving money to people, to families that are making $150,000, double the median household income. And amazingly, the most recent stimulus package, and they're getting so frequent that it's hard to keep track of, but the most recent one actually provides a family with 3 children under the age of 6 that's making $150,000 jointly is getting $13,600 from the most recent stimulus package. Incredible when you think about that. So the money printing and the money giveaways keep climbing the economic income ladder. And 3 days after Joe Biden signed the act that had that $13,600 for the family with that profile, Senator Schumer said 3 days, it took 3 days. Senator Schumer said we need to make these money giveaways in this most recent package permanent, which would mean $13,600 permanently for that family that's double the median household income. So this tracks the historical experience. It means that we're leading to greater economic inequality. The way you actually address economic inequality would be to stop printing money. It wouldn't fix it nearly entirely, but it would stop, adding gasoline to an already problematic fire that's burning.
So tell us, how do people protect in an environment where obviously inflation is going to continue to grow? How do they protect? How do they benefit from it? And what do you think about Janet Yellen reaching out to the G20 and saying, yeah, we're going to support SDR, let's triple its numbers? China seems to be pushing in that direction as well. Do you see us as reserve currency going away at some stage in the near future? Or what's your view of that?
Near future, probably not, but ultimately, yes. I mean, one of the things that is very important to watch in terms of the value of the dollar versus other currencies, probably one of the strongest correlations is the direction and magnitude of our twin deficits. And obviously, our budget deficit is exploding. They say that the budget deficit for the last 12 months is 16.5% of GDP. As if that isn't bad enough. But again, they don't include these off-budget items. So in actuality, 2021 could well have a 22% true deficit as a percentage of GDP. I think that to protect you, let's touch on the dollar. The dollar, not only is the budget deficit exploding, and there seems to be absolutely no wherewithal to put the brakes on that at all, but also one of the things that doesn't get a lot of attention is that who's benefiting from all of our money giveaways